Would you believe me if
Hello, everybody, bloody good. How's everybody doing on this fan-fucking-tastic Sunday, everybody? Sorry I am late, chat. I had some family shit I had to deal with. And then I woke up late as well and had to take it before stream. So, yeah, we're late. I said I was going to go live at 12. I'm live at 1:30. Eesh. It's going to be like a 2-hour stream today. Sorry. But it's going to be a short stream today, chat. This upcoming week/weeks is going to be a bit weird. With Thanksgiving, we have a bunch of charity streams coming up. For those of you that don't know, today's going to be Reacts. Tomorrow, I'm not live. Tuesday, we're going to be doing a 4:30 EST stream of Radio Light and then maybe Storebound with the guys. Wednesday, I'm going to be doing like a 5 EST bingo challenge stream. Thursday, I am doing random games on bands and maybe a state collab. Friday, Saturday, I'm not live doing a You Laugh, You Leave for YouTube. So I'm not live 3 days this week, but I will be posting on YouTube basically every day that I'm gone. But outside of that, then we're back next Sunday. We have a charity stream the 25th, chat. I'm going to say it every day that I'm live until the charity stream actually is happening. We're doing one for Feeding America. I'm going to be matching all of chat's donos for the entire stream. So not literally right after, but at the end of stream, say we raise $5,000, I'll double it. If we raise 10, I'll double it. So that's kind of, if you give $1, I'll match the $1, if that makes sense. But no tank top. I got a tank top under this, but it's cold right now, so I'm wearing a hoodie. But yeah, Feeding America charity stream. They're basically one of the biggest charities in the U.S. For providing meals to people that need them. They give 6 billion meals to Americans every year, which is fucking awesome. We're going to be doing that next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. Thanksgiving, I'm probably not live, and then it's just a bunch of random. Amara, thank you for the 3. Rate dispatch 1 to 10, like 9.8. If I'm just doing single digits, probably 9. I don't know if I would give it a 10. I don't know if I could give any game a 10. Would y'all give it a 10? I don't think that would be possible. I don't know any game that I would put in that category. Yes. I mean, I don't know. It's not that it's like, oh, it's not a 10 because this is wrong. It's more so just like, hey, I don't know if any. It's the same thing with like music or food. Like, I might say, oh, it's a 10, but I don't think anything's a 10 because that means there's no room for improvement. W bowl cut? Bro, I feel like my hair looks actually pretty fine right now. Stop. Agent Carter for the sub, Goth for the 3. Adopted a female orange cat yesterday. We got to pick it up on Tuesday. What should I name her? Ooh, Garfield. Oh, no, Garfield's a male. Fuck. What do you name a female orange cat? Garfield. I don't know. I have no idea. Name your own pet. Congratulations on getting the pet, though. Agent B's for the sub. Big for the sub. It's for the 3. Are you going to the Eagles game tonight? I asked because I have an extra tip because the dad isn't feeling well. Doesn't want to go, so if you're interested, let me know. I may be. I'm not 100%, but I appreciate the offer. But I would say just try and sell it on, like, StubHub or something. Amir for the 3. Crops and Baby for the sub. Mr. XP, 1800 Parker less. Finn Parker, Sir for the 3. Saw this yesterday. Caught a felony. I'm cooked. I ruined my life, bro. I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. Bro, you did not ruin your life. I understand you caught a felony. You said this yesterday. You could still improve, man. There are people that get jobs after having a felony. You're probably like 18, man. You could still do stuff. Like, I know it's going to be hard at the start, but you're still able to fucking succeed, man. You're Jack Doherty. Yeah, we talked about that. McChunky for the 3. 4 block U. Alert. Mr. Doctor for the sub. Tyler, Rachel, Zin, Melvin, Spider, Texas, Icy Pep. Rashawn, Snaggy, Max, ZHP, always for the sub. Guy, Foxy, Gabe, Minnie, Land, Julia, J-Dog for the 3. You look outstanding. Thank you. And Beast for the sub. But yeah, it's a shorter stream today, chat, but it is Reacts. A little rundown to the videos that we're going to do today. We watched this channel so long ago, probably like 2 years ago. They do documentaries about this town in Russia that's like one of the coldest areas you could ever live in. It's like constantly like -30 or something. And they just go over like everyday things they have to do in life, which is like fucking fascinating to me how they live. They only have 1 day to catch food for the entire winter. Munkha ice fishing in Yakutia. The most horrific medical procedure in the world. This is about lobotomies. Why I missed old YouTube and 50K, 500K versus $50 million jobs. We'll probably be able to get through all three or all four. But worst case, we'll just do three. It is a shorter stream today, though. Agent John in orbit for the sub, RX for the 3. What do we have today? Plus your hoodie's absolutely fire. Thank you, Guy, for the sub, Foxy for the sub. Boring lineup, dude. Well, then don't watch it, dude. Fuck out of the stream. I think we have a fantastic lineup. It's how you want to perceive it. Some things are going to be more interesting or funny or what. BPAP for the 3. What split do you use and what app do you use to count calories? I don't count calories anymore. Fire and Mass for the sub. I used to use MyFitnessPal. Is that still a thing? I think it's the Under Armour site. So that one's, I think, pretty good. Actually, I don't know if it is Under Armour. I thought it used to be Under Armour. Yeah, MyFitnessPal, I'd use the free version. The splits: back, biceps, abs, day 1, chest, triceps, day 2, legs, abs, day 3, day 4, rest, day 5. I repeat the schedule. Lindy and Mass for the sub, Drone for the sub, Sloth for the 1,000 biddies. My 60th birthday, happy birthday. Me and my girlfriend, Frankie, love watching you together. Well, I'm glad that you fuck with the stream. And thank you for the support. I appreciate that. All right. Are we ready to lock in, chat? First video of the day, no pre-stream yap. It is a shorter stream, so I just kind of want to fucking get right into it. I'm IR for the 3. Do you think Dispatch is your favorite decision-based game? You gonna watch the show? I'm a celeb. Angry Ginge is on it. No. Drone and Top for the sub. Lindsay for the sub. Is Dispatch my favorite decision-based game? Last thing that I'll rant about, and then we gotta hop in. Oh my God, there's so many good decision-based games, chat. As Dusk Falls, another one that pops into the head immediately. Fire show, or like fire decision-based game. The Quarry or any Until Dawn. I don't know. I feel like you can't really compare those. Is that fair to say? I think there's a difference between The Quarry, Until Dawn, and like As Dusk Falls versus Dispatch. Like one is a flat-out, like non-stop decision-based game, usually horror or death-related, whereas Dispatch is like an episodic, I would say, thriller drama. Like there's action, but I would say Dispatch is like more of a thriller than anything else. Thriller, romance. I feel like Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human's a decision-based game, but it's also a lot of like open world stuff. Serve the 3. Stressed because I did something stupid. I had a card, by the way. CJC for the 3. What do you know? I took your advice into consideration, moving on to different things. I blocked her, and and the guy I told you about on everything, text you for the advice. You're the best. Thank you. Pablo for the sub. And I hope you're doing all right, man. JJ for the 3. Trying to get in the gym, never done lifting, nervous because all my friends bench a lot, and I never have. Well, I mean, you always got to start somewhere, man. You know what I mean? If you never get into lifting, you're always going to be weak in lifting. That's just... I don't think it's absurd to be like, oh, well, my friends are stronger than me, but they also lift more, might weigh more, have more muscle. You got to work out. You know what I mean? You're not gonna gain muscle if you never go to the gym. Also, ban this kid from spamming. Christ. Holy fuck. All right. Let's lock in chat. Clicks for the sub, serve for the 3. First video of the day. They only have one day to catch food for the entire winter. Munkha ice fishing in Yakutia. Yakutia.
It's November now. Aryan and his family are getting ready to go traditional ice fishing known as Munkha. Munkha takes place every November, marking the final days before Yakutia's long and brutally cold winter begins.
How do people move here to begin with if it's that devastating that for the months of November through March, you can't fucking catch anything? The ice is so thick you can't ice fish. There's no animals anywhere. You can't have crops. There's no greenhouses. How the fuck, you're born there? Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, how did the first humans move here and it was like, it made sense? You know what I mean? Because like humans migrate towards areas that best suit their survival. Why the fuck would anybody move here if it's this difficult to survive? They just spawned in there. It was just their seed placement.
It's only minus 15 degrees today, yet...
Oh, it's only minus 15 degrees today. That's not bad.
Aryan and his family will spend...
in November.
...the entire day outside. They dress in layers, making sure to stay warm because once they reach the frozen lake, there is no coming back until the job is done.
Dude, you think they're catching that much food in one day for the entire fucking year? Fuck no, that's what I'm saying, dude. They're gonna be out there for fucking 20 hours. They're gonna be ripping fish every 3 seconds. I get how they just keep the fish, because it's like so cold outside, you just fucking keep it outside, the fish stay frozen. You think they feel a difference between -15, -30? I actually had a conversation with one of my friends that lived in a cold area before he moved to New Jersey. And it wasn't this cold, but he did say the difference between like 0 to 10 and like -15 is drastic. It's like you instantly, the way he described it to me was that when you walk outside in like 0 to 10, it's just cold as fuck. But when it's like -15, -20, your clothes start freezing. Like, everything gets stiff the second you walk outside. And so, like, you notice maybe the coldness isn't as bad or isn't, like, that big of a deal. But it's like you can't move well. Your pee freezes? Does your pee freeze? Your pee wouldn't freeze midair. Really? Does your pee freeze midair in -20 degrees? Your pee temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So for it to freeze midair, it'd have to cool a whole 40 degrees nearly instantly. That's actually impossible. Oh, that kind of heat transfer is possible in 2 places. Where? I feel like you would immediately get frostbite. Like, I don't think you would want to pee outside if it was like -30. It freezes in your hole. Don't even say that. I don't want to think about that. Midstream, it just you notice it's freezing and like the stream is getting more and more frozen and closer. You're like, oh no.
Today is a big day for the whole village. It's the day when the locals hope to catch several tons of crucian carp, enough to feed families through the long winter months ahead.
Bro, they're outside like it's a regular fucking Tuesday in the winter. Like,
enough to
are they not? How do they not get frostbite? It's -15. Their entire fucking head is out.
Feed families through the long winter months ahead.
Like, the kids all wearing the beanies and, like, they're covering their mouths and shit. Like, I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Before
it's -15 degrees Celsius. Isn't that even worse in Fahrenheit? Oh, no, that's 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's not that bad. That's bad. It's not that, but it's bad for November.
fishing begins, the leader and most experienced fisherman performs an ancient ritual feeding the spirits of the forest, waters, and hunters.
-15 is not that bad. Bro, what? What temperature in Fahrenheit would you say is cold? I mean, I would say like 40 degrees is cold, but like what I would be like, if for me to walk outside and go, oh, fuck, I feel like it'd be like 20. 20 and windy.
In Yakutia, surviving the winter has always been a team effort. That's how Munkha fishing was born, a traditional and ingenious form of ice fishing passed down from father to son for thousands of years. Before Munkha fishing begins, an elder
He got no idea what the fuck's going on. They just drilled a triangle. They just drilled a triangle into the fucking ice. What are they going to just throw a big net down there? There's no way they're using fishing poles to catch food for the entire year.
Carefully chooses which lake will be fished this year. This decision...
Oh my God, they're just throwing a big net. Okay, I think they'll catch enough food for the year. They're about to just net up the entire fucking lake.
It's never
Or
random.
river, whatever they're on.
It's made with deep respect for nature and the local ecosystem.
How the hell did they get that under the ice?
Teams of about 10 people gather, each with a specific role. The strongest men cut 2 large holes in the thick ice where they will place a V-shaped net about 100 meters long.
You think they got restaurants? Like, it's not even, okay, this is going to sound like such first world shit. It's not even like, oh, they don't have DoorDash, they don't have fast food. Like, I bet in the entire fucking, like, 50-mile region, there's probably one restaurant that's open, like, 2 days a week. And it's more kind of like a bed and breakfast than anything. It's just like you're staying in a family's home. Oh, my God. So they have to get all the food themselves. Do you think they have grocery stores? Do you think they could buy food? Because if they have to catch all their food for the entire winter, I'm assuming they can't go to the grocery store. What do they do for a living up here? Like, what job how do you make money?
Then they drill a series of smaller holes between them to guide the net underneath the ice, using long wooden sticks with hooks. Slowly, the net is pulled from one side of the lake.
Selling fish, they need the fish for the year. They export stuff. I feel like they got to be like selling like lumber.
To the other until it covers nearly the entire perimeter. In Munkha fishing, there is one important rule. No one should stand without work, not even a child or a woman. Everyone takes part in their own way.
You think if you fell in that water, you would die? Like that water, I feel like you would immediately have to go to like the hospital. Or like a heated car. Not right away. If you can't swim, no, I think you would get hypothermia almost instantly. I think if you fell in that water, and immediately got out, you'd be so cold that the water would start freezing on your body.
Years, Munkha has become more than just fishing.
And this is like the warmest part. This is the last warmest day they could do this.
It's a true festival. People laugh, talk, and enjoy the
little limbo.
last relatively warm day before the deep cold sets in. Children play outside, the boys are wrestling, the national sport of Yakutia, and a big part of the culture. In Yakutia,
wrestling's the national sport. I feel like some of these guys got to be like, do you think there's any UFC fighters from fucking Yakutia? Just some fucking hardened people, dude. Some guys that just don't feel pain.
Boy wants to become a strong wrestler.
It feels good. It's called the polar plunge. The polar plunge is when you're on the shore in like New Jersey and you run into the fucking water in the dead winter when it's 30 degrees outside. This is like northern Russia. This is so much colder. Like, this is so much colder. This is not like a regular ass like shore town water, right? They're almost on like the North Pole.
Now it's time to eat. Today's menu is nutritious soup with fresh meat and potato. Eating often is essential to keep up energy in the harsh Arctic cold.
You ever think like people here have allergies? Because I would always wonder like if you had like a gluten allergy and you lived in like Yakutia, you're fucked. Like you're like I don't want to say like you're dying, but you're not going to be able to do. Are you joking? Yeah. No, I'm not joking. Like I feel like the rate of allergies is probably higher in the US than here. With like artificial foods and other shit. Allergies are fake. Oh. Do you think the Earth's flat too? What are we fucking doing there? What do you mean? What do you mean allergies are fake? It's just all in your head. With somebody with a severe peanut allergy just starts fucking swelling up and goes into anaphylaxis. Yeah, man, you're just faking it. Just get up.
After the meal, everyone gathers around as the elders speak to the younger generation. In Yakut culture, respect for elders runs deep. Their words carry wisdom and tradition. The young boys listen quietly, learning not only about fishing, but about life, work, and strength.
This kid just wants to go home and play Fortnite. You'll grow up and be big and strong. Okay. Actually, oh my god, do you think they have like Wi-Fi? In this like small of a town and how far from like regular like big cities it is? Of course they would. I don't know, man. I feel like they probably have like cellular devices. They probably have a phone, but I doubt it's like what you would describe as like modern day tech.
There are also sacred rules. Those who have attended...
How would they do these videos? I don't know. A fucking crew comes in and films them.
At a funeral within 40 days or pregnant women are not allowed to join the fishing. Locals believe that the lake can sense their tense energy and therefore will not give its gifts. Aryan's father Kirill prepares long wooden sticks for his son and wife. Together they will...
I want to see how many fucking fish they catch.
Use them under the ice to drive the...
What if it's just a bad day for fishing? Or then what's the backup plan? Because I've gone fishing before. I've never gone ice fishing with nets, but I've gone fishing before where it's like you're out there for 6 hours, you catch fucking nothing. You're just sitting there sun beating on your fucking chest. You're like, oh shit, this sucks.
Fish toward the net.
Death? I don't think it's death, bro. They'll come tomorrow? No, because there's like a weather. They're saying this is the last day they're able to go because it's going to be too cold. Like at some point the ice would be so thick or there would just be no fish. I also have never walked on a frozen lake, but I even in an area as cold as this, I would have that imminent fear that I would just fall through the ice and die. Like, I don't think I could run out to a frozen lake. I fell in one. I mean, I've fallen in, like, frozen puddles before of, like, the shore of the lake I walk out on, and then I fall in, and I fall like a foot. But, like, dude, they fall in. This shit's probably, like, 40 feet deep. What are they doing? Is this the entire town? Like, do they plan a day for the entire city to come out and fish? How do they split that shit up? I have so many questions. What if you're like a bigger family, do you get more fish? What the fuck are they doing?
Fishing under the ice demands strength, patience, and perfect coordination. At the head of each team stands a Munkha master, a man who knows the lake's terrain and its secrets. Under his direction, the youngest fishermen stir the water through the holes, guiding the fish toward the center of the net.
Wait, what? So they're scaring the fish with the sticks to go towards the center of the net. They're not moving the net right now. They're like baiting the fish to move. Who the hell comes up with this? I understand this is like yeah, they're fish herding right now. That's so smart. Like, I understand, yeah, through generations this is passed down, but like they can't even see what's under the water right now. So they're just like full on estimating and it works. Yeah, thousands of years.
Munkha haka jana haynotan bitanmaranlar gülgümlen onyan kırılan büyüterbilen yıktarı munkhalılar. Koktu ben tüyede kadbatırın bu doğru katuramın.
He's blind?
Bülüyor içe hayılgağa içe vacanın munkha hacarı
In the middle of a frozen lake?
tüyeren katandıramın. Munkha hakalar gahip batın diyen vagarahanıyım. Bu can müşteriler ile yavruları. Ya munkha turguttu. Munkha terga yakadde.
His eyes are such a pretty color. They look like cataracts. Like old people. Like you see it with your dogs or like your grandparents, where it's like their eyes get a little more gray. Okay, asshole. I'm not being mean. I'm not saying his eyes look weird. I'm saying like I didn't think that he was blind, but when he said he can't see, I'm assuming he's like legally blind, where he could probably see because he was facing the kid. Well, I mean, he just knew where he was talking to, but he was like looking down at him. He might be able to see like shapes. Legally blind, question mark? Yeah, there's a difference between being legally blind and you probably know somebody that's legally blind, where without glasses, they can't see anything. Not to the sense where it's like, oh, it's all black. They just can't make out anything. Like their vision's so bad that they're not able to make out any genuine like textures or things outside of base shapes. Like before my grandpa died, that's how he was. Oh my God. He used to, dude, this is bad. He told me this was like right before he died. But he told me, I remember I was having a conversation with him. Bro, he was like, yeah, when I drive, I can't really see the top light. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I can't really see the top light. Like, I could see when it's like green. Like, I could see if it's green or not green. So I'm like, so you can't see the lights, like, when you're driving? He's like, no, not really. Because he was like fully blind in one eye and his vision, the other one was fucked up. And bro, I just had that conversation. And I remember after that, I was like, bro, he should not be. Why were y'all letting him drive? Because he just passed the test. When you want to, you might have a grandparent that got their license taken away. When you have somebody in your family that is like incapable of driving, whether it be through like vision or dementia or like other health problems, you report them and then they have to retake their test. He fucking passed. Like he proved that he could drive. But then when I'm having a conversation with him, I'm like, damn, man, you shouldn't drive. Like, this is like unsafe. And his legs were so, bro, he drove like it was NASCAR. I remember this was even before, like this was years back now. Now, if I'm going the last time, I hadn't been in a car with him for forever. But last time I was in the car with him, he would drive, like, you know how in NASCAR you have both your feet on the gas pedal and the brake pedal and then like the gear shifter? He would just have his right foot on the gas and his left foot on the brake. Which is how you would know, when you're a kid, that's how you think most people drive. Can we agree on that? I remember when I was a kid and I would like go-kart. Because when you go-kart, it's just left, right, left, right, left, right. Like you have a gap. Like most people, you would assume you drive like that. And then you actually learn how to drive and you just use one foot. But like that's not how you drive? No. What? You didn't know that? I feel like, I don't know. Are you allowed? Is that like a legality thing? I wonder if do you think you would fail your driver's test if you were using your left foot to brake? Is it illegal to use both feet to drive? No, it's not illegal to drive with both feet. It's considered not safe. While it is required to use both feet for manual transition cars, using one for an automatic is unsafe for most driving instructors. It is considered unsafe by most driving instructors due to brake wear, loss of control, pedal confusion, and like reaction time. You would think, though, that your reaction time would be quicker, but then you might just press the wrong pedal. Just drive automatic? Well, dude, he wasn't driving stick shift. Do you think my fucking borderline dead 80-year-old grandpa was driving stick shift? He might have. He might have been able to do that. For all I know. All right. Lock back it. Excuse me.
이래야 oluyor. Ya Munkha turguttu. Munkha terga yakadde.
I better see some crazy ass fish haul. Like, I better see them pull out like 1,000 fish out of the ground. I'm sorry your grandpa passed. Man, it's fine. I like telling stories like that. Like that shit's crazy. Like, I mean, it's sad, you know, like I'm upset that he's dead, but it's like, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna be upset every time I tell a story about him, you know? Yo, this kid's scaring the shit out of the fish right now. Like, how does he know there's a bunch of fish down there? Did it fucking freeze over again? They dig 2 holes? I know, but they already did that. Because they already have the net set
When
up.
it's
I think they're
finally
pulling it
time to
out.
pull up the net,
Oh my god, the big reveal.
everything falls silent. Time
Okay, wait, let's take our guesses. Do we think it's going to be small fish or big fish? I think they're going to be like this big. 10 pounders. 10 pounders. That or like a metric ass ton of small fish. Like it's going to be like sardine level small or like big.
Time seems to stop. Everyone holds their breath, wondering if there will be enough fish to feed their families through the long winter ahead.
Yo, imagine there's nothing. Oh,
Then-
they're small.
The first silverfish appears, followed by hundreds
Silverfish?
more.
Oh my god, yo, I respect that survival. I use silverfish as bait fish. I'm almost sure silverfish. What are the bait fish in Florida? Are those pinfish? No, those are pinfish. What are silverfish?
Cheer rises
Holy shit, they have a lot of them.
across the lake. This year has been a great success.
Oh my god! That is so... I did not think they were going to catch that many. Bro, that's got to be 1,000. Oh. You think that would cover their whole town for the year, though? Or not the year. It'd be like, what, 4 months? Oh my god, there's more. Oh my god, there's more. Man, what a way to die, too. Just sitting there. A fucking grizzly bear comes out of nowhere. Oh my god, they're still pouring more fish.
Traditionally, Munkha begins in early November, when the ice is already thick enough to hold dozens of people. But in recent years, because of rising temperatures in Siberia, the ice has become thinner and more fragile, making this tradition increasingly dangerous. Yet the people
Yo, they're just loading that shit into a trash bag. But they're walking down the street. Damn, you gotta go throw that out? No, I got fucking 50 pounds of fish in this bag.
Continue because Munkha is not
That shit's breaking when he picks it up.
just fishing. It's their culture, their spirit, their way of life.
Whoa! Wait, what? Oh my god, so the ice can fucking crack and break.
Spirit, their way of life. During the long Arctic winters, the ice grows so thick that oxygen can't reach the water. Without it, many fish would suffocate, so villagers catch them before that, gathering food while helping the lake stay in balance. When the catch is finally pulled out, the fish are equally shared among all participants, and also with neighbors who could not take part. To protect nature, they never fish in the same lake for the next 3 years, allowing the ecosystem to restore its balance.
Where do you think they put them? Do you think they leave them just leave them outside? I feel like animals would get them. There's no way. They gotta have like a closed room. I don't think they need a freezer, chat. It's cold as shit outside. What animals? There's probably bears. You don't think there's bears up here? There's bears up here. There's animals that would fucking eat those.
After a long day, tired but happy, Aryan and his
Oh my god, it's just soaking in blood.
family are ready to return home.
Holy shit. Oh my god, you think the smell would be bad on the way home? Fucking 30-minute drive home, it just reeks. Driving with the windows down. Oh yeah, no, they just gotta... Whoa. Is that a moose? What is that animal? They just got a room full of fucking... So I'm assuming this room's just cold and they keep meat here. Whoa. Are they still alive? Oh, so they're gonna cut them all up now. Then freeze the meat. Yo. Did one of them explode in the bag? Oh, that dog foaming at the mouth. Oh. Part wolf? You think those are wolf dogs? I think they're just big ass dogs. Oh, now we're cooking. We gonna deep fry them? All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, the breading on them too. Filet o fish? I don't think it's gonna be like a filet o fish. You think they drink snow water, or is that like contaminated? Bro, that one's moving! The death throes. Oh, he don't know what's about to come up next. Oh, shit. Oh, they ain't ready. Yeah, they probably boil it. Muscle memory? Yeah, it's the same thing with, like, frog legs and salt. Like, even if you have, like, not even newly dead, like, way old dead frog legs, you pour, like, salt in them and they start kicking. I can't get past the one thing that I'll say. It's like, I don't think it's gross or anything. I think it's just how I was raised, and like most people in the United States, I guess. I can't eat a fish if the head's still on it. You could give me like the body of the fish and I'll like pick at it and eat it. But like if I'm staring that motherfucker down, I'm not eating that. I would literally be like, can you chop the head off?
As you already know, Aryan loves fried Crucian carp, lovingly prepared by his mother.
Did they take the organs out of the fish?
Life in Yakutia is truly unique, harsh
He said they were prepping them, so I'm assuming so.
but beautiful.
No? Aren't you supposed to, though? Like, even if you cook a whole fish, I thought you're supposed to take out, like, their shit sacks.
Through Munkha ice fishing, you can see how people here remain united with nature and with each other. Even in the coldest,
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd get a bad bite there and probably throw up on the spot.
people here remain united with nature
Like, staring that down. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I'd be able to eat that.
and with each other. Even in the coldest inhabited place on earth, life is filled with love, light, and joy.
Oh, no. I love that they fucking love doing this, too. How we prepare minus 71, negative 95. What? What?
Meet Georgi.
We gotta watch that another day. Or should we watch that right now? I don't know. I love watching this shit. Negative 95, bruh. Negative 95. That is insane. Right now, do a poll. Negative 95. So that's when that shit's getting even colder. That's how they prepare. Bro, they probably just chop a shitload of wood. How we prep for negative 95. I didn't even think, what's the coldest it could get on Earth? What's the coldest spot on Earth? Probably somewhere in Antarctica, right? In the East Antarctic Plateau, it gets to negative 144. The coldest permanently inhabited place is Oymyakon, a village in northeastern Siberia. Where is Yakutia? Russia. Isn't that Siberia? Versus... Oh, no. Oymyakon is a village in Yakutsk. Okay. So it's the same place. This is the coldest inhabitable place in the world. Damn. All right, we'll watch it right now.
A resident
We'll cut one of the other videos. We'll do a poll in the other videos.
of a small
How we prepare for negative 71, negative 95 winter in Yakutia.
Meet Georgi, a resident of a small remote village in Yakutia, one of the coldest inhabited
Bro, they got a tough-ass house, though, for this being... Like, how they build that?
places on earth. This year,
This cold? They probably only able to do, like... Oh, they probably don't have plumbing. I was going to say they could probably only do, like, digging and plumbing work in the summer. But I don't even think... They probably have outhouses. If it gets that cold, the pipes would freeze.
winter arrived a month early for Georgi and his family. By September, the first snow had already covered the land, freezing
In
the
September.
quiet village streets. In just a month, winter will return in
What temperature is it right there right now? Hold up. It's negative 28.
full force, with temperatures dropping to a brutal minus 60 degrees Celsius. So Georgi must get his family ready. In Yakutia, heating isn't comfort, it's survival. Without it, a house can freeze solid in less than an hour. So every morning before his children wake up, Georgi tends to his stove. Georgi and Tatiana have 3 children, 4-year-old Anyuta, 2-year-old Evgeny and their oldest 12-year-old Eva, who studies far from home at a boarding school. Anyuta and Evgeny attends a tiny nursery with only 4 children in total, yet it stays open every day, no matter how cold.
And is that funded by the government? How is this nursery, how is this like preschool nursery making money? They have 4 students, 4 people, and they probably have like 2 teachers.
Cold it gets. Parents wrap their children in a layer of warm clothing and life goes on. Because in Yakutia, the cold is
I'd be sweating so bad though, bro. I know I'd have the cold sweats.
simply a
Whatever, because they're probably wearing like 4 layers. I think like the first, second layers would be sopping wet.
way of life. They live
Does fat keep you warmer? Yes.
in a tiny village of just 60 people, hidden deep in the Siberian forest. There are no supermarkets, no hospitals, and no police.
No supermarket, no hospital, no police, bro. You could go to your neighbor, shoot him in the head, and nobody would know for a year.
If something happens, families must rely entirely on themselves. That's why
Something happens, bro. You start going into like, what if you have like fucking appendicitis? You get your appendix taken out. You gotta fucking drive 5 hours to a hospital?
autumn, everyone prepares carefully, stocking up on firewood, food and supplies, and insulation.
Why would you think about that? Bro, I'm saying that's just scary. Living in an area with no grocery store, no supermarket, no hospital, no police. They have no like it's like a hunter-gatherer society effectively.
Insulating their homes to survive the long, bitter cold.
They have Wi-Fi. They have fucking telephone cables. Oh.
After dropping the children off at the nursery, Georgi goes to help his neighbor insulate the barn for the cattle. In this small, remote community, everyone helps each other, especially when the long, harsh winter is near. In Yakutia, people survive together, not alone. Keeping animals alive.
When I was in Wyoming, I saw a cow carcass that was picked clean by wolves. Because when it gave birth, they didn't lick it clean fast enough, and it froze to death. And then animals ate it almost immediately after.
And warm through the winter is hard work that few could handle. The barn
Like, they could live in those temperatures, but it's like when they give birth, bro, they're sopping wet.
must be sealed tightly against the frost. To insulate it, Georgi uses an old traditional method passed down through generations, covering the walls with cow dung. To many people,
And that insulates it, so he uses the cow's shit to insulate the fucking the warehouse.
this may sound unusual, but once dried, cow dung becomes completely odorless, solid and highly insulating. It's also antibacterial and naturally insect repelling, making it a surprisingly effective and sustainable building material. For centuries, the Yakut people have relied on this simple yet clever technique to keep their barns warm and their animals safe through the coldest winters on Earth, a way of surviving in a climate where modern materials often fail.
Bro, I mean, he's just got to paint it on very casually, though. Like, there's no, like, building plans. He's just kind of smearing shit on the walls. Like, is it all just eyeballing it? Oh. I love how the wall's different colors based off of the hardness of the poop and probably what the cow was eating. It's like a Picasso. Get a little painting here on this poop wall. Yo, get the fuck out of here. That cat is surviving. That cat is surviving in the wild. Get the fuck out of here. Where is that cat sleeping? Where is that cat sleeping?
After helping his neighbor, Georgi returns to his own home. The family doesn't live here yet. The house is still under renovation, and he wants to finish before the real cold sets in. Today, Georgi is insulating the roof with soil. He carries heavy bags filled with dark soil and spread it across the top of the house. It may look unusual, but this is an old Yakut method that works perfectly in the Arctic cold. When the temperature drops, the soil freezes and forms a thick, solid layer. It traps the worms inside and blocks the freezing wind from getting through the roof. The frozen earth becomes a natural armor that protects the house from the...
Bro, I'm more so like, the worry that I'm saying is like, say like their window breaks or something shatters, you know, collapses, and it's the dead winter. Like, do they just have to go to like live in their neighbor's house? Like, because there's certain things that they couldn't immediately just fix.
Cold. Georgi also pours soil around the foundation to keep the floor from freezing. If you look closely, you will notice that between the logs, people in Yakutia use moss or jute fiber to seal every tiny gap. With no central heating, the family uses an electric convector, spending about $250 a month in winter. That's why good insulation is so important. It helps reduce heating costs and keeps the bills from going sky high.
God, this is like such a beautiful place, though. Look, like there's nobody near them, man. They literally live in the middle of nowhere. It's like Alone. It's way worse than Alone. Alone, they'll drop you off in Alaska, bro. And it'll get cold there, but it's still reasonable. If they ever did an Alone season here, dude, half the contestants would fucking die.
Finishing the work around the house, Georgi and Tatiana drive 120 kilometers to the nearest town.
Was that just a free-roaming cow?
The only place where they can buy proper winter clothing. In this part of the world, an ordinary jacket or pair of city boots simply won't survive.
Are they open fucking 3 hours a day? Oh, wait, no. No, 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day on one of the days, 3.5 the other, and then 1 hour.
Locals shop only from specialized Arctic brands designed for life in temperatures that can freeze steel and turn breath into snow. Georgi needs a full set: winter trousers, a heavy jacket, boots, a hat, and mittens. But even this gear will only last through early winter. When January and February arrive and the temperature drops to its lowest, people switch to fur clothing because no synthetic material can truly stand against Yakutia's brutal cold. But warmth here comes at a price. A full fur outfit can cost up to $5,000 per person, and locals often save for years to afford one.
What the fuck? Why would anybody live here? I just for $5,000 and they're gonna have to constantly. I thought he was gonna say $500. I really thought she was gonna say $500. $5,000 for them to have 1 year of winter clothes. And then they're still going to have to get, they were saying the custom wool sets too. So they need regular athletic like gear like this that they're able to like have more motion in. And then they need like hand woven wool clothing.
Today, Georgi spent about $800 on his new set of winter
What does he do for a living? How do they make money?
clothing, enough to face the coming weeks of frost. After returning home from the town, Georgi and Tatiana don't rest for long. It's time to think about food for the day. Living deep in the wild, people here rely on hunting and fishing for their food. In October, Georgi uses an old fishing method called charokh, the same one his father taught him when he was a boy. First, Georgi and Tatiana go to a small lake to catch minnows, tiny fish used as a bait. Georgi places a raw dough inside a basket and leaves it in the water overnight. The next day they return to collect the catch. Then they drive to the river. Georgi drills several holes in the ice and gently threads the live minnows onto a line, lowering them back under the ice.
I really don't get how they make money because it seems like a lot of the stuff that they do for themselves is like self-provided survivalist work. So I'm like, how are they getting $800 to pay for this?
So they can keep moving.
Because like it looks like they chop their own wood, they get their own food, they get their own water.
Then they wait. During the cold Yakut nights, burbot, a fish that hides deep in the river, comes
The daycare? Yeah, the profitable daycare with 4 people.
out to hunt. If they are lucky, by morning it takes the bait. On the third day, Tatiana and Georgi return to the river, hoping for a catch. This ancient method takes time, patience, and a lot of hard work.
Oh, barbel, barbel. Oh!
Oh my god, is it biting his fucking finger? Yo, they're catching fish like crazy.
Oh, wow!
Yo, they're already frozen solid.
After 3 days of effort, they catch 6 burbots. Tired but happy, they return home with food for the week, a gift from Mother Nature herself.
They just had snow on them? Oh. I thought they were rock solid.
October is also the time when farmers butcher their cattle for
Bro, they got a volleyball.
winter. It's an old Yakut tradition. Families buy fresh meat, divide it into portions, and freeze it for the month ahead. Georgi just brought home a large piece of meat, which Tatiana will store and freeze it for the winter.
How you even start cooking that shit up? You know what I mean? Like, if you were like, I think I could, like, hand butcher, like, fillets, but if you just handed me that slab of meat and you're like, all right, cut this up. Where the hell you even start? Just start hacking at it. Yeah.
Tatiana and Georgi have been together for 12 years, doing everything side by side.
Just start chopping.
Working, building, raising children, and preparing for winter. In a place shaped by long, harsh winters, life without love, care, and support will be impossible. Together, they built their cozy wooden house by the river, pouring all their love and warmth into it. They name it after Tatiana's beloved grandfather as a tribute to family and their ancestors. Today, they welcome travelers from all over the world to stay in their home and experience what life is like in one of the coldest places on Earth. But life here isn't easy. Living in such an extreme climate means facing challenges every single day, even something as simple as food. In this frozen land, fresh fruits and vegetables are a luxury. Apples, bananas, and tomatoes rarely reach this far, and when they do, their prices are often higher than meat.
Oh my god, bro. A case of fucking fruit probably costs like $30.
Locals rely on what nature gives them. Lingonberries, potatoes, carrots, and herbs gathered during the short northern summer. In October, Tatiana and Georgi spend their days pickling, salting, and freezing everything they've harvested, storing the taste of summer to
Those carrots?
survive the long, dark month ahead.
Yo, something just cracked the shit out of this windshield.
Now, Georgi and Tatiana are heading on their daily mission to collect water for drinking and washing. For drinking water, they drive about 8 kilometers to a natural spring where they fill large containers with crystal clear water.
What happens when that freezes?
They do this while it's still autumn before the river freezes. In just a few weeks, the water will turn the solid ice, sometimes up to 2 meters thick. Locals then harvest ice from the river, cutting it
They chunk blocks of ice out and melt them.
into large blocks and storing it outside. Later, they melt it for drinking and cooking.
Yeah, I would die out here in a day. Yeah, I don't think I would make it. Even if I was living with like a family that was like trying to teach me their ways. I think I would die out here.
In their village, there are no water pipes or running water. Building such systems in Yakutia is almost impossible. The land is frozen for most of the year, and laying underground pipes through permafrost is extremely expensive. Yakutia is also huge, almost the size of India, and many villages are simply too remote for centralized utilities. So people here still live in a traditional way. Georgi and Tatiana use river water for cleaning, washing, and daily chores.
I don't know. I'm just like, do you think... I would have to ask them. I feel like they have to enjoy the lifestyle. I'm pretty sure the story of the person that makes these videos is that they used to live in the area. Because I remember we used to watch Kiyun. And I feel like she used to live here. She explained it or something. Or somebody that does these documentaries that used to live here left. And I feel like whenever we see these documentaries, a lot of their kids move away. And so I feel like this is probably like a dwindling city/tradition. Because it's just, I guess, like, this is a hard life. Like, to fucking, it's not even just like, oh, like, financially. Like, it's not that they're struggling financially. Like, they don't have, like, they have to fucking not freeze to death. Like, every day, half their day, more than half their day is just doing stuff for that specific day. Really, Joe? Yeah, I'm saying we have it easier, though. You have a job, ideally you make money, and that provides everything else. It seems like most of the stuff that they get, they have to do themselves. Like, no real specialized labor. But they have to have some sort of specialized work to make money. There may be trading something. I bet Kiyun's nice, too. Probably gives him a cut of this video.
When it comes to bathing, families don't have showers or hot water lines. Instead, they have their own wooden banya, a traditional Russian-style sauna built beside the house. Once a week, they heat it with firewood, bring in buckets of river water, and enjoy a few hours of real warmth and steam. Here, even simple things like washing or collecting water take effort and time. In the afternoon, Georgi and Tatiana drive 40 kilometers
And my God, Chad, I gotta say that car looks like it's from 100 years ago.
to pick up Eva from her boarding school.
And it's a soft top.
They can't wait to see her.
That's a soft top.
The week always feels long without her at home, and every Saturday becomes a special day for the whole family.
Probably cold as shit in that car. It's reliable, though? Oh, yeah, all the shit from that era is reliable. God, like, breaking down, man. They ain't got AAA. You break down 10 miles away from your fucking home. What are you, walking back?
There are no grocery store in their village, so every trip like this is important.
How does the oil not freeze? One other video we watched way back was about a city near Yakutia. I think it might be the main city in this area where it's like they actually had like big like buildings. All the cars are just nonstop running. They don't turn their cars off.
Today they need to buy a box of bread, enough to last for the week. In a place where the nearest store is 40 kilometers away, even bread must be planted and stored carefully for the days ahead. After shopping, they drive to Eva's boarding school. Every Saturday feels like a small celebration, the day their family becomes complete again.
You're like, what if you hate your classmates?
Eva studies far from home because there are no schools in their own village, and driving 80 kilometers every day will be too difficult, especially in winter when temperatures fall to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Yet, even in such cold, life here doesn't stop. Children still go to school. Back home, the work never really ends. Tatiana begins to do the laundry. There is no running water here, so Georgi and Tatiana use the water they brought from the river earlier.
I gotta say, bro, that bread looks so good, though.
As the day comes to end, the family gathers around the table for dinner. After a long week apart, Eva is finally home, and the house feels alive again, filled with laughter, the smell of warm food, and the quiet joy of being together. This is every
I will say, this is like, you know how everybody misses, like, the Christmas nostalgia and, like, the early 2010s where you would just, like, play board games with your family and, like, sit by fire, do some shit like that. Like, while they don't have, like, a lot of the luxuries we have today, like, they have that, like, sit around the table family vibe, which I feel like doesn't really exist, at least in the U.S. anymore, where you're, like, round table talking with your family, playing a game after, interacting with each other. Like, you become a lot more independent a lot quicker. Yeah, and it forever stays that way here.
day life in Yakutia. Simple, quiet, and strong.
But you could do that. My family does. Yeah, I'm just saying most don't.
Every day is a battle against the cold, yet the people
Bro
here
is munching.
never complain. They live in the full harmony with nature, respecting its power, its silence, and its beauty. For them, Yakutia is not just a place to live, it's their mother, their pride, and
Oh my god, they got a TV too, bro.
their greatest love, a way of life they will never trade for anything.
Yeah, that's what I really think it is, bro. Like, you grow to love that shit. And I think if you're born into it, it's fucking sick. But it's just like, if you're not, it's the same thing, man. It's just like the culture and the tradition of your family. Like, you wouldn't want to give that up. That was an awesome video, though. Zach, Jack, No, Dizzy, Lil, CS, Noel, Big, Coconut, Geekin, Snoop, and Big for the subcolon for the Thray. Spin your brain clothing-wise, what does that mean to you? I'm not really going to expand it, no. Milky for the sub, it's more so just for fun. Nick for the Thray. What's crazy is people living this far into the wilderness for Russia probably have no idea what's going on in Moscow. Jester for the tier 2. I bet they have news stations, so they know. It's just like they're not directly associated. Bibblicious for the sub, Posse for the 3. Took 3 200 milligram edibles 2 days ago. I don't remember anything that happened in the last 2 days. I'm fucked up because apparently I drove home. Well, dude, I hope you're okay. Don't fucking do that again. My God. Hampy, Rookie, and Mun for the sub. Girth for the 3. Passed out twice drunk last night. Feel fine now. Should I be worried? Don't get that drunk again. I would say you're probably fine now, but drink a lot of water, you know. Eat food. Jan, Tamal, Nas, and Kolb for the sub. Lil and Lil for the sub. C-Mad, thank you for the 5 gifted. F9, Andre, Sussin, and Lil for the sub. Nick, Spencer, Fink only, Zalin, Solid, Soap King, Ethan for the sub. Golf for the 5. Hope you're having a great day dealing with the death of my grandmother. Rip in the chat, man. Just found out my uncle has skin cancer. Your content really helps so many others through tough times. Thank you. Well, I'm glad I'm able to help, man, but I'm sorry for the loss of your grandmother. And finding out that your uncle has skin cancer. I have cancer in the chat. I hope that, you know, they could cut it. If it's like melanoma or something, they're able to cut it off, get rid of it quickly. Van for the sub. Brendan for the 3. Keep it up. Jusha-ish, Spit. Oh, I didn't read donuts for a while. Guzzy Da, Rogue Love, Laura for the sub. Small for the 3. Going for a 2 monitor setup. Do you think you should get a worse monitor as a side monitor or get one, get a nice one as a primary? I think you should focus on the primary monitor. The second one, it doesn't matter as much. Big for the 3. Bought your merch last week. Didn't know it was a pre-order. Just found out today. I'm sorry to. I'm not sorry to hear that. I'm sorry about that, man. But yeah, I don't have like my merch doesn't sell like clothing, right? Like good clothing, like big brands would. So it's like I can't have inventory. We have to do pre-orders. A-Dubs and Clicks at the sub serve for the 3. CJC for the 3. Already read that. Snapple and Venom for the sub. Problem for the 3. It's bizarre seeing you not in a YouTube video. Breezy for the sub. Kane for the 3. My son's currently in the hospital with RSV and my fiance looking after him. I'm home looking after my daughter and it's tough, but you keep me entertained and smiling. Well, I'm glad I'm able to help, Kane. But I truly hope that like your family's okay. I hope your son's all right. That's terrible that you know he's going through that. I'm glad I'm able to help, but I genuinely hope your entire family's all right. Lil Zach and Jack for the sub. Snap for the sub. All right. Chat, we might cut the lobotomy video. I don't, yeah, we're going to cut the lobotomy video. Yeah, we're going to cut the lobotomy video. We'll watch that another day because we watched 2 of the Yakutia videos. We'll watch the other 2, though. Chat, it is a shorter stream today. I got to piss real quick, though. Count me down 30 seconds. We are back. All right. Spapple and Venom for the sub. Oh, all right. Next video. Kind of leaning into the nostalgia aspect here. Why I miss old YouTube.
If I told you that YouTube as a platform has been around since 1986? Well, I sure hope you didn't, because that was a lie. YouTube was created in February of 2005, which
Yeah, but YouTube never gained... Like, when did YouTube gain traction? Like, when was Smosh? I feel like Smosh was, like, the first, like, big known YouTube channel. 2011, 2009, 2010. Yeah, like 2005, nobody was on fucking YouTube, bro. That shit was like just shit posting. I think YouTube got big around like Gangnam Style. Genuinely. Like when music videos, like Friday, shit like that. Like that's when it was big.
At the time of recording this, it makes the platform over 20 years old. Now, in this time, YouTube has evolved so much that it's almost unrecognizable from what it used to be. Believe it or not, there was a point on this platform where people would go viral for posting videos of them dancing on a shitty $15 webcam or a video of their cat. But
I think that, ooh, that was a voice crack. I think comparatively to any social media platform, is it not the same? Like, Vines were really bad, got progressively better, but were still, in hindsight, pretty dog shit because you only had 6 seconds to work with. In TikTok terms, was anybody on TikTok like 2019? Like, I mean, this was before I ever even made content. This was when I was like a junior in high school, but like 2019, even 2020, like most content on TikTok was slop. It was musically lip syncing and dancing. And they're still dancing today, but like the majority of the platform was like just, hey, this is like a funny thing. It was all like trend like videos. It was like trend videos of like dancing. There was no skit comedy really. I feel like now TikTok's full of like news, comedy, dancing, singing. It's full of like, there's so many different categories now that it's more competitive. So you have to make better content because it's like early YouTube. Yeah, somebody would go viral for going, because there was no fucking there wasn't Matt Pat. Matt Pat wasn't doing a 30-minute fucking 2-week-long edited video of, you know, the actual lore of SpongeBob. You know, like it was just regular ass shit.
What the compared to nowadays, you have people like Mr. Beast who are spending $4 million per video. I'm not gonna directly...
Is it really 4 mil a vid? He doesn't post most of his videos. That's true. Like, or not most, but like if he makes 10 videos, he probably doesn't post like 3 or 4 of them. Because they're not good enough. And he has multiple working at once. 4 mil a vid though? You think he's making that back? Off the vid alone, no. Even with fucking 200 million views, bro, you're not making $4 million on a video. Even maybe with a sponsor, I think he breaks even. I think that's why he has Feastables and, you know, fucking Lunchly. It's because it's like, that's what makes money. He uses his platform, yes, to promote things and make money itself, but I think a lot of the actual profit revenue he gets is through products that he makes. The gummies, the candy bars,
Yes.
the little toys. Do you think anybody buys those, by the way? I see ads for those all the time. Those fucking Mr. Beast toys, the little collectibles. I don't know. They have to be because they still make them. It's been like a year, and he still makes them. Gozy for the sub, Emily for the 1,000 biddies. Can you do a poll in the lobotomy video? Emily, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Thank them if you got a sub. Thank you for the 10 gifted. We could probably watch it after this one. We got to see, though. Venom Spapple for the sub, but then I would save the other one for another day. We could do that. I'll do a poll after this video.
But hey, Mr. Beast, you know, my PayPal's always open. In terms of YouTube, though, I'm still struggling to figure out how we went from this to this. In order to decipher this CIA...
I think it got easier to make content, right? It's like the average person can edit and do professional grade stuff. And then it's also just like you need to go, there's 2 ends of the spectrum. Like the brain rot content then needs to be more brain rot now. And then the good content then needs to be better now.
A cover-up level mystery, we have to go all the way back to the year 2005. This segment of YouTube is what I'm going to be calling the classic era. Between the years 2005 to 2009, YouTube was simply a video sharing site and nothing else. This is so—
Oh my God, Charlie bit my finger. It was a video sharing device. 151 million views, people bored as heck.
sharing site and nothing else. This is so—
I feel like in the early 2005 to like 2009 era, like the YouTube videos got views, but nobody was really using YouTube.
far back that they
were like reposted videos from AFV or other things that were submitted. It was like viewer submitted videos that got re-uploaded.
No Mr. Beast. There was no Matthew Bean. No Logan Paul. There was no such thing as YouTube drama. Instead, we had things like this.
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. And cool thing.
What you just watched was a piece of internet history. It was the first ever video uploaded to YouTube. This—
What did that say?
You just watched was a piece of internet history. It was the—
Microplastics are accumulating in human brains at an alarming rate. What, did he put that in the video after the fact? There's no way that's the fucking like bio of the vid in 2005.
First ever video uploaded to YouTube. This was a point in time where you simply uploaded videos that you found entertaining, whether it be a cat video or you dancing, or maybe you're in the mood to listen to some guy—
Chocolate Rain, dude, he's fucking covered in sweat. Chocolate Rain, and then you turn away to breathe.
A Mongolian throat sing about hamburger.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
This was like that was like 2006? There's no way that's that old. There's no way that's that old.
Obvious by most of these examples that I'm showing, the videos being posted here were very amateur. While doing research, I found this video uploaded all the way back in 2008, simply titled Club Penguin Free Membership, Not Hack. Now, I know you're gonna have a really hard time believing me when I tell you this, but there was no production team behind this. Either this video was recorded on a flip phone camera or—
Nah, that shit was recorded on a fucking DSI, bro. I remember I used to I gotta go on my old DSI. I used to like record like videos on my DSI when I was like 8. Like I would record videos of my dog.
YouTube just simply couldn't support higher resolutions at the time, but this was posted in 144p. I'm not able to understand a single thing that's going on within
It's
this.
just a notepad. Hi, do you want a Club Penguin membership?
I think I'd have a better chance walking into a pyramid and being able to read the hieroglyphics on the wall. And that's a real bummer because I was looking forward to getting a Club Penguin free membership without using hack. There was no such thing as professional YouTubers back then. Nobody was thinking about the click-through rate, capturing people's attentions with a flashy thumbnail. In fact, you were lucky enough to even gain anything over 100 views on a video. However, there were a few YouTube channels who were able to gain a pretty big amount of popularity, like Smosh, Fred. Smosh was—
Are there any other big channels that still post from that era? Like Good Mythical Morning is huge, but I feel like they were even like 2010. They were not like 2006. Moist Critical was not on YouTube then. Epic Mealtime, Dan and Phil, like Ray William Johnson. Yeah, these are all OG YouTubers, but they were like 2010. Like when did like Dan and Phil get on YouTube? Dan TDM, bro, even Dan TDM's not. Like, I feel like you're not seeing, like, dude, this was an era where
really like when Dan
YouTube was not big. Yeah, Dan and Phil joined YouTube in 2014. Like, that's old, but it's not that old, you know, comparable to, like, fucking Smosh. Like, when was Smosh?
I'm speeding.
Every 2.
Smosh joined YouTube this is OG. 2005, November of 2005, the year that it was made. Like, that's OG. Markiplier. Bro, I feel like gaming wasn't really big on YouTube until the 2010s. Yeah, Markiplier joined in 2012. Just because, like, what video games would you be uploading your playthroughs of in 2006? Like, the fucking first Call of Duty.
was a skit YouTube channel run by Ian Hecox and Anthony Padilla where they would dance in front of a webcam, and thankfully, the quality on this is much better than the Club Penguin video, this time at 240p. I don't know too much about Fred, just that he would make skits with this really annoying high-pitched voice. Smosh was gaining such a large audience at the time that they were making it onto local news stations, and obviously that brought a lot.
Dude, Smosh and Fred are the biggest that any YouTuber would ever be because they were like the only known YouTubers. Fred had 3 fucking movies. Fred had movies with John Cena. Like, he was huge.
A lot of attention back to YouTube. So this is where we enter the next era.
Oh my god, Nyan Cat.
2010 to 2013 is where YouTube really started to gain more traction as a platform. The music industry would eventually catch wind of this, and we would see more and more musicians upload music videos. You, of course, have your Justin Bieber Baby, which for the longest time held the record as the most disliked video on.
Wait, were there not music videos prior to YouTube, or were they just uploaded on like fucking on demand or some shit? I never even thought about that. Like, prior to YouTube, were there not music videos? Like, where would they air that? It would be on MTV?
On YouTube. But then I thought about something else, something that hadn't crossed my mind in quite a long time. Whoopin' Gangnam Style was the—
That's what I said in the beginning of the video. When I was in fucking, it was either 2nd or 3rd grade, I remember watching Gangnam Style on YouTube on the school computer and it being like the coolest experience ever.
most popular video on YouTube. It held the record as the most viewed YouTube video for a pretty long time. My parents didn't let me listen to it because they said sexy in it. More and more creators were starting to show up and gain a pretty significant audience. A couple names you might recognize are Ryan Higa. He would make skit videos like How to Be Ninja. Another one is Vanos Gaming, who— actually, I'll let you figure out what type of content he makes. PewDiePie would start uploading gaming Let's Play videos, and he would quickly become the most subscribed to YouTuber on the platform.
Playing fucking Scribblenauts. Like, dude, the era where it was like you would just play fucking Slenderman.
Gaming Let's Play videos, and he would quickly become the most subscribed to YouTuber on the platform. As obvious, YouTube had gone mainstream, and not as many 30-second short videos were going viral. It was a lot more creator-based this time around, and people were starting to see the true potential in what YouTube could become in the future. And
we were nearing the era. Oh, he's claiming this is the golden era. I was gonna say we're nearing the era from like 2012 to 2015 of like the epic rave intros.
People were
that was peak.
Pretty correct.
Alie's intro, fucking all the Minecraft YouTubers had their own like edited 30-second intro.
I don't know how to
like Sky does Minecraft. Dun 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 dun.
Transition over. I really don't.
Yeah, Bayesian Canadian.
2014 to 2015 is when YouTube officially was cemented as the go-to video sharing platform. It isn't really a place where you can simply get popular by uploading funny cat videos anymore, which is really sad because I wanted to see Go Kitty Go too. In order to become successful and have an audience, you almost have to be a designated creator of some sort, or you have to be a musician. This is around the time in my life where I started watching YouTube.
Oh my god, Mineplex, bro. Rip. That used to be the biggest server on Minecraft. Like, Mineplex was the shit. Does Mineplex even exist anymore? I feel like if they do, they have, like, no people on that bitch.
Started watching you.
Hypixel's better now. Mineplex was the coolest server in its time.
YouTube. I was watching
you would get gems and you could unlock, bro. They had like the fucking like battles where you would be different animals or like blazes and you would fight each other.
My life where I started
oh my god,
watching YouTube. I was watching gaming creators and they became pretty well known.
Or Turf Wars. I remember I would no-life Turf Wars on Mineplex in like 2013.
Being a YouTuber is now considered a real job, and some people would get so famous that they would end up going on live TV. It was almost like a fun little crossover episode of some sorts. A really awkward crossover episode. Now, if there's anything that I learned, it's that I don't think traditional TV media and the internet really mix too well. Whenever a YouTuber would go on a talk show or something, it would just create this really weird, awkward vibe. When I was 10, I was probably one of the most socially inept people ever. I'm talking, I would fart in public like no shame. Now, when I was watching TV, even I was able to sense that there was some sort of weird awkwardness. It's really, really hard to describe, which is exactly why I'm not.
Well, I think it's the difference between being a TV personality and somebody that has to do interviews frequently versus being a desktop creator that creates primarily gaming content, especially in 2012. Like, imagine you're PewDiePie or like Ryan Higa and like all the shit you do is at your computer. Somebody redeemed that. It's at your computer, at your house. You know, you're not really doing anything like interactive wise, and then out of nowhere it's like, hey, you want to come on Jimmy Fallon?
Gonna describe it. Minecraft is also at its peak here. You have creators like Stampy, Captain Sparkles, and my beloved Dan TDM. Real quick, I have no idea how or why, but this motherfucker used to upload once, even twice a day for years. So thank you, Dan. Thank you for the immense amount of service that you gave to us,
Dude, they used to record. Okay, yeah, I think Dan TDM's a little different. And I'm not dissing Bayesian Canadian or Jerome ASF because I think they were like they were the two of the coolest creators that I would watch in their time. But I remember I would watch like Bayesian Canadian episode 833 of Hunger Games, and he would be like, yeah, I recorded these last few episodes on vacation. Bro just played Minecraft for 3 days straight, recorded every game he had, intro, outro, cut out wall space, no zooms, no edits, no face cam, upload, could take 3 weeks off. Like, bro, I don't know how often he recorded because I don't know him. But, like, he theoretically could have just recorded 4 days out of a month, and then the rest of the month just took off and just uploaded him playing Hunger Games. And each video, banger, 2 million views, 3 million views.
Minecraft lovers. Honestly, it wasn't even just Minecraft. I'd say all gaming creators were at their peak here. Jacksepticeye was gaining tons of popularity. Markiplier was getting millions of views by playing a small horror.
No. Markiplier's FNAF videos are not the best. Markiplier's 7 Days to Die with Wade and the fucking those guys. That was the peak Markiplier days, when they would be underground and they would hear the monsters coming for them, and they would just be, Wade and Bob. They had no idea what to do. Bob would carry the team. They were a trio, and Markiplier was kind of the personality of the group. Bob really carried the technicalities. They were like a dynamic trio.
Game you may have heard of. It started to get some attention. It had animatronics. Really, really hot animatronics. It's probably a little too niche for you, I don't know. This is the time where I started to watch creators like Jaden Animation, The Odd Ones Out, and of course, Bruce Stu.
This was also the era of YouTube where I would look up boobs. I would just go on not Google, I would go on YouTube, just search boobs. It's 10 years old. Boobs.
Give a special thanks
scroll through
to them because they're the ones that really made animation on YouTube popular in the first place. If it weren't for these people, I'm not sure any stickman or animation YouTubers would really be as popular as they are today. Genuinely, these three were some of my biggest inspirations growing up, and they made me want to become a YouTuber. So thanks, guys. Anyways, moving on.
Edgy era. Oh my God, is he going to be like, this is like Logan Paul, iDubbbz.
2016.
Like, this was the era of say anything. Yeah. Say anything and it whatever.
To 2017 is what many people consider to be one of the best eras of YouTube.
Killer Keemstar.
Maybe it's just purely nostalgia bias, but I kind of agree with this sentiment. A whole new wave of creators blew up this year. Gameplay commentary YouTube was really starting to become its own thing. It's as simple as turning on a game of Call of Duty or Counter-Strike Surf and then just proceeding to talk about as much as you possibly possibly can for the next 8.5 minutes, and that's about it. Pyrocynical was a pretty popular commentary creator. You know, you also had Memulus.
Pyrocynical's still big now.
And I love these two. I used to watch them all the time. But there was one creator, one beast who just could not be tamed, and that was Leafy is Here. This motherfucker Leafy was at the time one of the
What does Leafy do now? I feel like there was so many people in that circle that, like, just disappeared off the face of the earth.
most ruthless commentary creators. However, there was another creator who was well known for making hit pieces on people and ending their careers. This is all sarcasm, by the way. It's the fucking internet. From the depths of online came the beast, the gnome
Drama Alert Nation.
Keemstar. Now, when I was like 11 years old, I thought that Leafy and Keemstar arguing on a podcast was the funniest shit ever. But now, when I think about it 9 years later and look back, dude, it was two grown men arguing on the internet. Are we fucking serious?
Because you sit there in your stupid fucking podcast and just fucking regurgitate yourself.
That was one side of the edgy YouTube spectrum. But then there was the other side with creators like iDubbbz, Max Mofo, and my personal favorite, Filthy Frank. Admittedly, the type of content
Bro, the Filthy Frank video where he makes like rat stew and he like pretended to be Guy Fieri. Oh my god, Deadly Twister.
they would post was kind of lowbrow humor. It was edgy.
Oh no, it was lowbrow humor. It was lowbrow humor for sure. It was like edgy for the purpose of being edgy, weird for the purpose of being weird. Yeah, hair cake, human cake, just disgusting stuff.
And offensive shock humor for the sake of being edgy and offensive. When making this video, I did think to myself, was iDubbbz really that offensive? I mean, maybe we're just remembering.
Oh my god. Dude, I remember I was like, when iDubbbz, I was probably like 13, and I was watching iDubbbz in the summer, bro. Like, you would go back, dude, he would just be, like, he would rip a Bible up. He would just start ripping slurs casually, his fans. I remember, dude, there was like an interview he did like a year ago where he was like, it got so bad to one point where like one of the reasons I stopped is because he had like some like actual neo-Nazi walk up to him and be like, man, I love your content. Like, I really support what you're doing. And he's like, whoa. Either way, it was terrible, but that was like,
Bring it all wrong.
as crazy as it is too, that was like right before, wasn't that right before the adpocalypse? Because that was like the era of YouTube where like every YouTuber would just say and do anything. And it was like, hey, let's throw a Coca-Cola ad right before this. Hey, let's throw a Coca-Cola ad right before this. We're going to throw a fucking Pepsi ad up, and then we're going to let a video play where it's just literally just people just screaming slurs.
And then I went back and watched the Tana Mojo video and countless bad unboxings. I legitimately do not think that I can play any of
Oh my god, the Tana thing.
I legitimately countless video and countless bad unboxings. I legitimately do not think that I can play any of the clips. I think it would get my channel taken down. Filthy Frank was my favorite, and at least once a year, I sit back and I just go through all of the old videos again. The older I get, the more I realize that this entire Filthy Frank universe was very well a character and nothing more.
Oh, it was a character and nothing more. I always find it so cool that, like, half of his music fans don't even know that he was Filthy Frank. They don't know who Filthy Frank is or was. Like, they're fans of Joji, and they listen to Joji, but they're like, if you mention Filthy Frank, they'd be like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is Filthy Frank?
In Filthy Frank's channel description, it literally says that Frank himself is a character. Pink Guy is another character within the Frank cinematic universe, and he ended up making music, which somehow ended up on the charts. Of course, gaming YouTube is still alive, animation is still going strong, and it just seems that YouTube is just at the top of its game. Little did we know the change that was right over.
Oh my god, this was like the phase era too. We can't forget that. This was like BO2 quickscoping. This was like trick shot era of YouTube as well. This was when like Adapt and Rain and like all those guys like Rug started gaining traction.
The horizon.
Adpocalypse. Yeah, I did say it was right before it.
Adpocalypse is truly one of the hardest moments in YouTube history. Edgy commentary was really killed off during this time, and that's because you weren't able to make money off of it anymore. You see, before, you could say like, like that. However, the corporate overlords above ended up finding out the type of stuff that was being posted on YouTube and eventually pulled all advertisements from the website. This led YouTube to create the dreaded demonetization. iDubbbz ended his infamous Content Cop series.
Bro, I really believe the YouTubers in that era, I know like YouTube now jams ads and they have like 2-minute ads and shit. I don't know what the ad revenue looked like then, but I really believe those are the richest YouTubers. Like if you made content in 2015, you could monetize anything. Like every video you posted would get money.
Filthy Frank eventually,
like, and I feel like even copyright was rare there. Like now, dude, I'm posting what, like 14 videos a week. I gotta cut back, bro. Shit stresses me out. But if I post 14 videos a week, like at least 4 of them are either demonetized, copyrighted, age restricted.
Left YouTube,
like then you would just make money on all of them,
to go start a music career, and Leafy ended up leaving YouTube entirely. When demonetization eventually became,
yeah, there were certain accounts that just got killed because it was like they can't pivot. You know, there were accounts, I think the Adpocalypse segmented a lot of people where it was like there was already like Good Mythical Morning was fine since the very beginning. You know, they made family friendly content that you watch in the morning, food reviews, regular random games and quips and stuff. And then there were people that were kind of on the in-between. Like, I think, like, Ryan Higa probably battled with, like, some demonetization. And then there were people like Leafy and, like, iDubbbz. And I don't even... Maybe not Max Mofo or Filthy Frank, because they had, like, he had, like, a Pokemon channel, and he wouldn't do, like, cursing as much. But even then, like, those guys' content kind of got, like, killed.
Became normal. The edgy era was completely...
SML still makes videos today.
Done. 2018 to 2019 was relatively uninteresting. It was rather basic. To the few edgy era creators who didn't yet leave YouTube, they were still trying to find their groove and navigate around the new monetization policies that were in place. There was a new community of Instagram vloggers who became super popular around this time. To name a few, you have David Dobrik, James Charles, Shane Dawson. I forgot to mention Rice Gum, who would just flaunt his money and his LA mansions. And who could forget our favorite sibling duo, Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Logan, I actually still remember when the infamous...
No, that was in 2019, bro. That had to be so much longer ago.
Miss Logan,
when was the Forest thing?
Forest video was posted on YouTube. It was on the YouTube trending page. I'm not gonna lie, this era of YouTube was pretty bland though. And that takes us from 2019 to present day. Honestly, not much has changed. Monetization has gotten a little bit stricter. Mr. Beast has become the biggest YouTuber on the entire platform, and shorts were introduced.
Well, and there's like levels to monetization now too. I feel like it was a lot more blanketed then. It's like you have monetized videos that make different amounts on RPM, which still existed then, but it's also like there's difference between like kid-friendly, family-friendly, and regular content. Then there's demonetized content, which makes money on like ad premium like YouTube accounts, and then it's just age restricted.
Just as a way to compete with TikTok, and they were very successful in doing so. And that's really all.
Bro didn't mention Phase or Full Send. I would say if you're going through the eras of YouTube, I think Phase is something that should be mentioned, like the gaming era of like Call of Duty gamers, and like big gaming org groups. But I don't really think that Full Send is like huge in the stepping stones of YouTube. Does that make sense? Like they were big, they are big, but it's like when you look back at YouTube eras, you would look back more on like Phase than you would on Full Send. Yeah, or like the Nelk boys.
I have to say about YouTube. Subscribe, like the video, and yeah, thank you. Bye.
I remember, I don't know if anybody watched YouTube around this time. I remember watching Steve Will Do It. This is the last thing I'm going to say. We're going to go to the next video. I remember I watched Steve Will Do It when I was in high school. And I was probably like a freshman or a sophomore. And he would do like the videos where he would just eat a bunch of Stony Patch Kids. He would eat like 5,000 milligrams of weed, or he would get really fucking drunk. And he would post it on YouTube. And I was like, oh, wow, this is badass. And I would be watching it, and in one of the videos, you know, a year into me watching him, he would go, I just turned 21. And I was like, what? Like, I thought it was a joke. But, like, bro was unironically underage drinking, like, fifths of whiskey on YouTube for, like, 3 years. Like, This kid was a high schooler. Like, he was like 19, like just getting hammered on YouTube. And then he was like, I just turned 21. I was like, what? I remember being like utterly shocked. I was like, there's no way. Respect the grind. I mean, bro, that shit was insane. I'm like, how did YouTube not flag that? All right. M4 for the sub, Avery and Puck for the sub, Al, Daniel, Tacky, Benny, Taurus, Alex for the sub, Dead for the 7, Yoda for the sub, Okaz, thank you for the 4, says you my goat, Goji and Runs for the sub. Mods, could we do a poll between this video and the lobotomy video? 50K versus 500K versus $50 million jobs, or the video on lobotomies? No, I'm okay. In Canada, you could drink at 19. Is Steve Will Do It Canadian? I think some of the Nelk guys are Canadian. Steve Will Do It was doing the Stony Patch videos in the OG, like, Clout House. That's in LA. So, I don't think that was, like, I don't know. Is Steve Canadian? That would be news to me. Hold up. Where is this fucking lobotomy video? Or people are voting lobotomy video. Does anybody remember the title of the fucking lobotomy video? What was it? Go to your history? I don't know if I clicked on it. Hold up. Oh, here it is.
First, the patient was rendered unconscious using electro.
Okay. Yeah, this might be like a disturbing video. A little trigger warning. This is about lobotomies, which were a medical procedure where they would basically shove an ice pick into your brain and sever a part of your brain to try and fix a multitude of disorders, which basically made you like kind of a husk of your former self.
First, the patient.
The most horrific medical procedure in the world.
Was rendered unconscious using electroshock therapy. An ice pick was then placed underneath the patient's eyelid and pointed upwards towards the brain. Using a hammer, the doctor tapped the back of the ice pick, breaking the thin bone just above the eye. The ice pick was inserted 3 inches into the patient's frontal lobe and moved side to side, severing the neural connections between the frontal lobe and the rest of the brain.
What was the percentage of death in this procedure? Because it's just like they're effectively performing brain surgery with no expertise. Like, they're just shoving an ice pick into your brain and hitting it in. Like, there's no way. I feel like there's got to be like a 40% chance you just die.
Process was then repeated on the other side. What I just described
in the other eye.
Described here is a transorbital lobotomy, a surgical procedure popularized by a sociopathic doctor named Walter Freeman.
Didn't he get like a Nobel Peace Prize for it initially too? Because they thought it like actually worked well.
Believe it or not, back in the day, lobotomies were all the rage. From 1936 to 1960.
50,000 people received lobotomies, most of them between 1942 and 1952, so 3 years.
50,000 of them were done in the U.S. alone. At one point, it was considered a miracle cure for things like schizophrenia, depression, OCD, even gay. That is until the
being gay, they would give you a lobotomy.
Disturbing truth came out. That the cure was often worse than the disease. Thousands of people's lives were ruined while others were ended. Which raises 2 questions. 1, what the and 2, why the Well, don't worry guys, I'm gonna answer both these questions. Probably. So let's start at the beginning.
I just, like, it's also, I know he's going to talk about the history of it, but I feel like a lot of these weird procedures kind of, like, took rise around times where, like, a lot of the medical knowledge we know now is, like, we bought that shit from, like, the Nazis. Like, the U.S. I'm not talking about lobotomies right now. Or, Japan. After World War II, like, we bought their experimental knowledge. Like, where they would torture people and just do random surgeries. Like, it was horrible what they did, but the U.S. was like, well, you know, you did find shit out. They bought it from them. So I just wonder if, like, lobotomies, I don't know the history of it, so I'm just kind of trying to make a prediction of, like, whether or not this doctor was just doing experimental surgeries on people that were willing, or was this, like, some war-based surgery that they were just doing for, like, the sake of experimentation.
Second International Congress of Neurology was basically like Burning Man for nerds. Every prominent neuroscientist in the world was there, including the two men that would go on to create the lobotomy. We'll get into
I gotta say, too, that guy looks like he is from the Men in Black wearing another person's skin. Like, oh my God, Uncanny Valley scary.
on to create the lobotomy. We'll get into them in a second, though. As you can imagine, most of the presentations were boring as hell. Except for one, that is. A researcher named John F. Fulton brought out a pair of chimps named Becky and Lucy. He explained that the chimps were
he did the lobotomy on them?
Trained to complete a series of tasks in exchange for treats. Fulton noticed that the chimps would sometimes get extremely frustrated when they failed their tasks. That's when he thought to himself, hey, I wonder what would happen if we just, like, cut a part of their brain out. And that's exactly what he did. And what he found was incredible. The chimps only had a slightly harder time.
Bro, he had to have killed multiple chimps in the process of testing this, because there's no way it's like, oh, what if we cut a part of the brain out? And then he just, like, haphazardly just shoves an ice pick into their skull.
Completing their tasks. But even though they were messing up more, now they took their mistakes in stride, and they didn't crash out like before. Fulton remarked that it was as if they joined a happiness cult. These findings had a major impact on two people in the crowd in particular. Walter Freeman, who I mentioned earlier, and a Portuguese neurosurgeon named Igaz Moniz. Moniz thought to himself, if it work on monkey, why not work on human? Moniz wasted no time. He grabbed a couple of patients from the local insane asylum and immediately started
and just fucking did the experiment.
Experimenting with a new procedure he called the leucotomy.
Now, if this sounds absolutely insane to you, I have something even more insane.
This is an ad.
The leucotomy. It involved drilling dime-sized holes in the skull and scooping out pieces of the brain with this instrument called a leucotome. Moniz
So he would drill a hole in your skull and, like an ice cream scooper, just go, yeah, we don't need that bit there.
Believe that.
Let's see what happens now. Oh, they died. Okay, let's not scoop that part out next time.
Taking out these pieces of the brain would sever the neural pathways, which would basically factory reset the brain and fix a lot of mental problems like schizophrenia and psychosis. Now, the reason Moniz was in such a hurry to develop this new procedure was because he was desperate for a Nobel Prize. He had been nominated twice, but was snubbed both times. Now, he was at the tail end of his career and felt that the leucotomy was his last chance at that sweet, sweet Nobel gold. In the following 4 months, Moniz performed 20 more leucotomies and reported that 35% of his patients were cured of their disorder. Another 35% showed some improvement, and the final 30% showed no change. But the accuracy of this data was...
But none of them died.
Up for debate, and a lot of Moniz's contemporaries weren't sold. In fact, they thought he was more insane than the people he was operating on, but that was the minority. In fact, Moniz did end up winning the Nobel Prize for his work, and his research influenced a lot of people, including Walter Freeman, who is basically the main character of our story. Freeman was responsible for kicking off what I like to call lobotomania. Because of him, tens of thousands of people would get their brains turned into scrambled eggs. We'll get to him in a second.
But was it like most people that were getting lobotomies were doing it willingly, or were they just being, like, forced to? Like, hey, you have schizophrenia, you're getting a lobotomy.
And first, I think we need to answer a question that I'm sure you've been asking yourself. Why
are there people, how many people in the US today or in the world today are still alive with lobotomies? Impossible to know. There's no central registry. Many were never informed of their procedure. Many were never informed of their procedure. So they just knocked you out, gave you a lobotomy, and then acted like you were just, like, asleep. Howard Dully is a man who received one as a child and is still alive. One of the youngest survivors of the transorbital lobotomy. I wonder, like, there's got to be an interview on how his brain functions differently now.
Why were people so ready to embrace this barbaric frankenfuck of a surgery? Well, to put it simply, it's because oftentimes it was better than the alternative. You see, sanitariums, mental hospitals, insane asylums, whatever you want to call them, back in the day, they were hell on earth.
Yeah, didn't they treat you like animals? Like, you would just shit on the floor, it would be whatever. They wouldn't give you any, they wouldn't clean you, they would barely feed you. It was basically just like an area they would lump people as considered undesirables and just stop caring about you.
Were crowded, filthy, dangerous, and understaffed. Here's a quote from a 1946 Life magazine article to put things into perspective.
We feed thousands a starvation diet. We jam-pack men, women, and sometimes even children into wards so crowded that the floors cannot be seen between rickety cots, while thousands more sleep on bare floors. Hundreds spend 24 hours a day in stark and filthy nakedness. Those who are well enough to work slave away in many institutions for 12 hours a day, often without a day's rest, for years on end. Worst of all, for these wards of society, we provide physicians, nurses, and attendants in numbers far below the minimum standards set by state rules. Restraints, seclusion, and constant drugging of patients become essential in wards where one attendant...
So were they motivated to get a lobotomy because it meant they were allowed to leave the ward?
...must hurt as many...
And so even though it might fuck up their brain, they would just take the chances.
...as 400 mentally deranged charges.
At the time, there was no medication and treatment options were limited. So doctors tried all sorts of insane methods like malaria therapy, insulin-induced comas, and of course, electroshock therapy. Walter Freeman had spent his entire career working in one of these mental hospitals. What he saw there traumatized him, and he made it his life's mission to combat mental illness by any means necessary. Now, this mission wasn't completely altruistic. Freeman, like Moniz, was obsessed with his legacy. He said himself that the whole reason he even took a job at that mental hospital was for fame and fortune. You see, Walter Freeman's grandfather was like the most famous doctor in America, and Freeman wanted to fill his shoes. He wanted to be known as the man who solved mental illness, and he thought that the lobotomy was his ticket to achieving that goal. So on September 14th, 1936, Walter, along with neurosurgeon James Watts, performed the first lobotomy in the United States. Their first victim, patient, was Alice Hammett. Alice suffered from severe depression, anxiety, insomnia, and mood swings. Her condition had gotten so bad that her husband had her committed to a mental institution out of fear.
Do you think that the lobotomy actually made them happier or just like dull? Like instead of being depressed, they were just no emotions.
That she would take her own life. But Freeman offered her an alternative. Here's a detailed description of...
Because I'm pretty sure that was the description of like JFK's sister that got one, where she had like, you know, base anxiety or like depression or, you know, specific disorders, but then was just like, not like, I don't want to say a zombie, but like a husk of their former self, like just staring off into the abyss, just, I don't care.
Alice's operation. Now, keep in mind, this is different from the one I described in the intro. That version of the lobotomy won't come for several more years. They made incisions 3 centimeters in length into the scalp. Using a drill, they made holes in the skull in the left and right frontal lobes. They then inserted a leucotome straight down through the hole into the exposed surface of the brain. The tissue had the consistency of warm butter. Pressing a stylet at the top of the instrument caused a wire loop to protrude from the other end. They rotated the loop full circle and cut a round core of white neural fiber. Next, they pulled out the instrument a single centimeter and cut another core, followed by a third core. The surgery continued until a total of 12 cores had been made. The operation had lasted about an hour. Oh, by the way, this was Walter's first time ever doing surgery. Can you imagine?
What? He had never performed any surgery prior to this, and the first surgery he was doing was brain surgery.
I couldn't even let a barber cut my hair if it was his first.
How did he not kill this woman?
Time. Despite that, though, everything seemed to be okay at first. I mean, she was alive, but after a few days, Alice started having some cognitive problems. She had trouble understanding people and could barely speak coherently. Walter hung his head in shame. His first lobotomy was a massive failure. Or so he thought. In the next few weeks, Alice would slowly start regaining her cognitive ability. Even better, her anxiety had almost completely disappeared. And for the first time in years, she was able to get a full night's rest. Absolute cinema. Tremendous comeback. By 1942, Freeman and Watts had performed almost 100 lobotomies together. They published their findings in a book titled Psychosurgery, which is a bit of a double entendre. In it, they claimed that 63% of their patients saw improvement after getting lobotomized. Now, this data was very, let's just say, trust me bro-ish, but we'll get into that later. Freeman also took before and after photos of all his patients. Check this guy out. Before, he was perplexed, unable to solve the simplest problem. But after his lobotomy, he became a cool cigar-smoking badass. He didn't even need glasses anymore. You know, if I saw this...
Yeah, they just shaved his head and gave him a cigar. That doesn't really change. That doesn't show any character change.
I'd probably get a lobotomy. Freeman,
like just looking at a picture of him.
His data, along with Moniz winning the Nobel Prize, lended a ton of credibility to lobotomies, kicking off lobotomania. In the 40s and 50s, almost 100,000 lobotomies would be done around the world. Even the New York Times was raving about what they called the surgery of the soul.
A new surgical technique cuts away sick parts of the human personality and transforms wild animals into gentle creatures in the course of a few hours. It is asserted that mental symptoms relieved by this new brain operation include tension.
But they never talked about any of the downsides. Like, they said it was like a miracle cure. They were never like, hey, like, this will get rid of like your suicidal tendencies, but you're also going to be like stupid now, or you're not going to be able to remember certain things or function or have emotional regulation.
Apprehension, anxiety, depression, insomnia, suicide.
Streamer awards right now? What do you mean streamer awards right now? The streamer awards aren't on for like a month. What? Where?
Insane year.
Oh, she's showing the nominations. All right, well, let's finish this video.
Ideas, delusion.
Brett, I didn't know. I didn't know the nominations were out today.
Hallucinations, crying spells, melancholy, obsessions, panic states, disorientation, nervous indigestion,
and hysterical.
Are you nominated? I don't know.
Paralysis.
Okay, I'm pretty sure some of that stuff is made up. With the medical industry and the media on their side, Freeman and Watts went on to perform hundreds of lobotomies together. At first, everything seemed to be working out. But as you can imagine, there was a dark side to all of this. As the procedure grew in popularity, it became increasingly obvious that it wasn't the miracle cure touted by Freeman and Watts. I mentioned earlier that 63%.
But how did it take 100,000 lobotomies for them to realize that? Like, you would think like 1,000 in, they would be like, oh, some of these people have like serious issues afterwards.
Of Freeman's patients saw improvement. But keep in mind, this stat came from a book written by Freeman and Watts themselves. And improved by what metrics? Seems pretty subjective to me. Oh, and also close to 15% of people didn't survive. So some people did improve, yes, but others got worse. And
there was a 15% chance that you would die, or even a higher chance that it would just be worse than when you were previously. Lemon Mo for the sub. iFace, thank you for the 10 gifted, and I love for the 5. Do you still have a G Fuel code? No. Lost Cyborg, Avery Math, Al, Punk, and Daniel for the sub. Benny and Tacky for the sub. Taurus and Alex for the sub. Dead for the 7.
Some even died. It was a complete crapshoot what would happen, which probably explains why so many gambling addicts got lobotomized. More often than not, the procedure would completely rob people of their personalities and turn them into husks of their former selves. Look at this. This is one of Freeman's before and after pictures. He writes, in some instances, the best that can be done for the family is to return the patient to them in an innocuous state, a veritable household pet. Schizophrenia patients make nice household pets after operation. Top.
Bro, what? But and the family was happier with that? I'd be like, hey, can you do this lobotomy? My daughter is, dealing with a lot of depression. And then she comes back and she's like unable to fucking do anything.
10 most psychotic things I've ever heard. Right up there with Franklin the Turtle isn't that bad. Watts and Freeman wrote in one of their books that prefrontal lobotomy smashes the fantasy life and ruins creativity in doing so. One is justified in speaking of the lobotomized individual as a good, solid cake, but no icing. So for those reasons, lobotomies were supposed to be a last resort for people who had no other options. And they were for the most part, but a lot of the time they were just done on women with attitude problems.
Hey fellas, have your wives been acting strange lately? Maybe they've been...
Yeah, but like the woman didn't have to agree to it. The husband could just be like, my wife's kind of being rude to me. I think she should get a lobotomy. She's angry all the time.
Complaining too much. We're not having dinner ready on time. A smack on the mouth can only work so many times. So it might be time to get them fixed up with a good old-fashioned lobotomy. The new operation that's sweeping the nation. Thousands of women have gotten lobotomies, and they can't stop.
I can't perceive being a husband, though, forcing your wife to get a lobotomy, and then seeing her come back and just be, like, unable to communicate with you how she used to.
Talking about it. Huh. At least the ones who can still talk. So fellas, talk to your doctor and see if your wife or daughter is a candidate for lobotomy. And don't worry if they feel uncomfortable. What are they gonna do? Say no?
Over 60% of lobotomies were done on women, and that percentage is much higher in other countries. These women, they didn't really have a say in the matter. If you were a lady in the 50s and your husband or father wanted you de-brained, it was gonna happen. The most infamous case occurred in...
But what would they fucking storm into the house and fucking strap you to a gurney and then fucking just do the surgery on
1941, when a prominent businessman and politician personally reached out to Freeman about his daughter. She had been acting up, embarrassing the family, and the father couldn't let that stand. Walt jumped at the chance. This guy was a big shot, and if everything went well, it would give him a whole new level of prestige. But it didn't go well.
Is it JFK's? Is it JFK's sister?
Like, at all. The procedure had completely destroyed the woman's mental capacity. She regressed back to having the mind of a 2-year-old and spent the next 60 years in a mental institution, being cared for around the clock. The woman was Rosemary Kennedy.
Oh my gosh. So did that mark the end of lobotomies when, like, they didn't like how Rosemary was showing the family and they were like, let's get a lobotomy, and it was the worst possible means of them doing it?
The sister of JFK. Man, what is it with this family and having their brains destroyed? Oh, and women weren't the only victim.
I wonder if the dad was like upset at the doctor for fucking up the lobotomy, or more so being like, oh, maybe the lobotomy was not the solution to this.
Struggle with the uncontrollable urge to have gay sex? Well, lucky for you, there's a fix for that now. With a simple ice pick to the brain, all of your homosexual thoughts will go away, along with most of your other thoughts. But you better hurry up and get a lobotomy today, because they won't be around much longer.
Of male lobotomy patients, 40% were gay guys.
And I feel like that might make you not gay, but I feel like it would just make you not sexual. You know what I mean? Like, if you were giving a lobotomy to a gay man, I don't think it's making him not gay anymore. I think it's making him, like, asexual, in the sense of, like, he has no sexual attraction towards anything anymore. You're probably cutting that part out of their brain.
Most of them were in prison for sodomy and were basically offered the choice of getting a lobotomy. Most of them were in prison for sodomy and were basically offered the choice of getting a lobotomy or staying in prison, and a lot of them opted for the scalpel. Despite all of that, lobotomania continued throughout the 40s and 50s. I already mentioned the appalling conditions in America's mental institutions. After World War II, that situation got way worse. In 1946, there were 500,000 people living in these hellholes. The American Psychiatric Association estimated that state institutions were 50% over capacity on average. The problem started spilling over into regular state hospitals, where half the beds were taken up by psychiatric patients. And at the end of the day, institutionalized patients became a lot more manageable after they got lobotomized. Sure, a lot of them turned into...
Don't Google it. I'm not Googling it.
...emotionless, borderline zombies, but that was a risk many healthcare workers were willing to take. This wasn't really about making the patients' lives better, but making them easier to handle. So Walter Freeman wasn't worried about if lobotomies were ethical or not. He was worried that he couldn't do enough of them. You see, on top of his obsession with legacy, Freeman also believed that these mental patients were a drag on the economy. He once said, "I looked around me at the hundreds of patients and thought, what a waste of manpower." Freeman wanted to solve this issue as quickly as possible, which meant having to do more lobotomies. Unfortunately for him, though, the standard lobotomy at the time was inefficient.
Yeah, but how are you saying, look at these, look at these useless people. Look at these useless people. Let's give them a lobotomy and then immediately describe them as household pets. You're not like, it would be different if, like, after the lobotomy, the majority of people were, like, outstanding, high IQ citizens that were getting crazy jobs and becoming doctors of their own. Like, no, you were just fucking chopping their brain to pieces.
It took over an hour and required a whole-ass medical team. That's when Freeman came up with his most genius and most psychotic invention yet. A way for him to lobotomize a patient in a fraction of the time. And the best part, he could do it by himself. He called it the transorbital lobotomy, aka the ice pick lobotomy. This is the thing that would go on to ruin Walter Freeman's reputation forever. I described the process at the beginning of this video, but to refresh your memory, the doctor took his ice pick-like device and hammered it into the thin part of the bone at the top of the eye socket. Once it was good and deep in the brain, the doctor would move it side to side until the frontal lobe was severed from the rest of the brain. Oh, and instead of anesthesia, Freeman would electrocute people until they passed out.
The operation
Oh my God!
can be done under any general anesthetic, but electroshock is preferred because of its familiarity
Bro, so they would faint and then they wouldn't wake up for a fucking hour?
to the pad. Transorbital lobotomy is performed during the stage of post-convulsive coma. The convulsion lasts about 40 seconds. When the patient shows signs of returning consciousness, a second convulsion is administered. Usually 3 successive convulsions are necessary.
Oh my God, literally a full-on metal fucking headband and they're just electrocuting her.
But in old people, a single one may be sufficient, while in a sturdy young person, 4 or even 6 convulsions may be administered without danger.
Bro, what the hell was this guy's problem? The new transorbital technique only required one person, and it can be done in as little as 10 minutes. Once again, though, this procedure was only supposed to be done as a last resort if nothing else worked. But Freeman got careless. He started traveling around the country in a van, performing transorbital lobotomies for a crowd. He went on to personally...
For a crowd? People would fucking stand and watch it?
Perform over 2,500 ice pick lobotomies over the next few years. 5 times more than the regular prefrontal version that he had done with Watts. Now, a lot of medical professionals were not fans of this new technique, including James Watts. He was disgusted by Walt's laissez-faire approach and insisted that this was a serious procedure that should only be done by a trained team of neurosurgeons. But Freeman basically told him, ice pick go brrr, so Watts decided to cut all ties with his old partner. This was the beginning of the end. If it wasn't obvious before, it certainly was now that Freeman grossly exaggerated the positive impact of lobotomies. Other doctors started following up with his patients and realized that only about a third of them had
73% were still hospitalized or in a state of idle dependency.
Experienced any improvement.
So they only got worse.
And there was a growing consensus that the risk was not worth the reward. But the final nail in the coffin came with the advent of antipsychotic drugs in the late 50s, early 60s. So people with bipolar and schizophrenia could now take a pill instead of having their brains thrown in a blender and seeing what happens. To bring things full circle, John Fulton, the guy who did the chimp experiments that kicked off lobotomania, announced that lobotomies were over. But none of that was going to stop Walter Freeman. He insisted on the efficacy of lobotomies and continued his crusade. Freeman moved to California and continued to do lobotomies as if nothing had changed. Until 1967.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to just be like, hey, you're not allowed to do this surgery anymore.
Freeman performed his last lobotomy on a woman named Helen Mortensen, who had previously received the transorbital lobotomy from Freeman himself 10 years prior. I guess she was due for a
He's giving another lobotomy to the same person.
Touch-up. Unfortunately, this time the surgery didn't go well, and Helen passed away. After this, Walter was banned from ever performing surgery. At the end of the day, Walter kind of got what he wanted. His name is definitely in the history books, just not in the way he was expecting.
Wow. That was a very interesting video. D-Cole and Rocket for the sub, Act for the sub. iFace, thank you for the 10 gifts again. But yeah, chat. Short stream, but we're going to call that there. here's the schedule. Exclamation point schedule. I will not be live tomorrow. Tuesday at 4:30, we're going to be doing Radio Light and Storebound with the guys. Wednesday, maybe a Lud Bingo Challenge, random games. Thursday, random games, unbans. Maybe a Stay Collab. Friday, Saturday, I'm not live as well. So I'm off 3 days this week, Monday, Friday, Saturday. Friday, Saturday, we're going to be filming You Laugh, You Leave, so I will not be live for that. But I will be posting on YouTube while I'm gone. I'm probably going to cut back posting like 1 or 2 videos a week. But I still do want to stream like 6 days a week on average. Might tune back to like 5 soon. Ice for the sub, Decol for the sub. Charity stream the 25th, by the way. We're raising money for Sleeping America. We will be donating whatever chat donates as well. So I'll be matching chat's donos the 25th, 2 days before Thanksgiving. But yeah, it was a W stream chat. Make sure to pop out for the charity stream. Make sure to go watch the YouTube videos not right when I end. I'll probably post on YouTube later. But yeah, let's call that there. Who the fuck do we want to raid?
Look forward to an.
Who do we want to raid? Small fries. All right. Appreciate y'all. It'll be all fun, and I'll catch y'all later. Sorry for the sub, TB, and Ice for the sub. And I will see y'all later. We're going to raid in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, chat. See you Tuesday. Peace.